What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 173. And we start today's episode off with a brief look at the Bundesliga table, where as you can see, after back-to-back wins for Bayer Leverkusen, we now have a 7-point gap between us and 7th placed Hertha Berlin. So massive consecutive wins there in the last episode against Wolfsburg and Hannover 96 as well. So a 7-point gap now, which now becomes 6th for our game against Frankfurt. But as you can see by the table as well, we're not that concerned about what's going on below us in the table right now, but we are concerned about what's going on above us in the table. Right now, for our first game today, Frankfurt are leading the league in the Bundesliga as we come and take them on away from home, and we are already many points behind the team top of the tree right now. And if we're to have any chance of having a title race this season, we need to get wins in these big games here. So taking on Frankfurt away from home, a draw wouldn't be a terrible result based on how the season's gone for both teams right now, but I really wanted the win. And we start off looking the better team as well. 32 minutes in, Kersberg firing that shot just wide the post after Shaw rolled him through. But what I found during this game is that both defences were absolutely rock solid, and considering the starts this season that both teams has had, that's not a real surprise, but I couldn't break them down that many chances, and when I did, there was some really committed defending from our opponent defenders to stop us from getting any real chances other than the one we had in the first half. And that's why the game ended up finishing as a stalemate, a goalless draw in the end away against Frankfurt, in a game where there were only 4 shots taken and not a single shot on target. Now, I'll be honest, guys, I actually recorded a live commentary for this game, but I remember as I was coming towards the 90th minute and no chance were getting created, I just said to myself, do you know what, I might as well just switch the mic off now, because there's no way I'm giving you guys this as a live game, because it was absolutely atrocious. Again, there were only really 2 chances in the game. That first one through Kersberg hitting the side of the net, and then that second one late on, that deep cross by Leon Bailey, headed behind for a corner. That was basically it. The other shots were very tame, and there was not a single one on target in the entire game. And, you know, sometimes that's what happens in career mode. You know, you have the really big games and you look forward to them. You circle them on the calendar when you're going through the season at the start of the year, and you think, oh, that's going to be a good game. That one, really looking forward to that. That's how I felt about this Frankfurt clash. I was really looking forward to it, and nothing happened. So it was a waste of me recording the live commentary, really. But anyway, 0-0 the final score, and we end November with a clean sheet against top of the league. Not a bad result, but a draw, and it is worth pointing out yet another slip up in the Bundesliga. And you take a look at our monthly fixtures for December. We've got match day 6 in the Champions League away against Monaco, our DFB Pokal round 3 trip to Kiel, or are they coming to us? I can't remember now. But the third round DFB Pokal, and a couple of big Bundesliga games as well. As you can see in the Bundesliga right now, we are 7 points clear of Stuttgart in 7th, but 2 points behind RB Leipzig in 4th in that final Champions League spot, and 6 points behind Borussia Dortmund, who are now the league leaders in the Bundesliga. We've played over a third of our games in the season now. I'm not sure if we're going to be in a title race this season. It's definitely still possible. It's not like we were 20 points behind top of the table, but it is going to be hard to do that. But at least we know just 2 points behind RB Leipzig right now. We're still going to battle every step of the way for a top 4 place, and we'll need to get into the Champions League for next season if I'm to keep my job. That's what the board have asked. That's the minimum expectation. Still, as December is now here, I thought I'd show you my transfer shortlist for January. As we know, Jorge Mera has agreed a £44 million move to Paris Saint-Germain. So I thought I'd show you my centre-halves who are on the shortlist right now. Thank you for those that had been leaving me transfer suggestions. Obviously, some of them that you had suggested, I didn't put on the shortlist because they're just way out of our price range, including a couple of the names that are right there now. Sergio Mia Martinez, for example, I'd love to bring him with me to the Bayer Arena, but I think he's just going to be a little bit too expensive, as is Jonathan Tyre as well. But there are a few players who I think are more realistically approachable, including Sarr, who has a very low release clause of just £20 million. I'm certainly not against signing him and then reinvesting the other £20 million on another position. There's a few names for me to look at there, and also Eric as well. Some of you guys have been asking about Eric as well. I showed you a few episodes ago there was interest from Juventus. Unfortunately, he has agreed terms with Juventus, and he's going to join the old lady in January. So gutted about that. He's my long-term replacement for Beneke in this team, but I won't be able to get him in January or at the start of next season either, as he'll be a new player in Turin come January time. So gutted about that, but yeah, unfortunately we won't be able to sign Eric in January. But regardless, here's my transfer shortlist for January, and expect one of those centre-backs to be signing when the window opens. Who we get, I'm not too sure yet. There are a couple of names on there that I'm really intrigued by, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Still, for the second game of today's episode here, feels like the first game after an atrocious episode opener today. But second game today, we travel back to the Bayer Arena to keep matters going in the Bundesliga as we welcome one of my former career mode teams, Hertha Berlin. And after no goals in his last 3 games, Ivan Toney would step onto the field. I kept him in my starting 11 because I trust the shocker, and just 3 minutes in, he opens the scoring. Chip down the right hand side, lovely first touch, gets away from the covering defender and bangs one out into the top corner and makes it 1-0. You saw the top scorer charts there entering December. I don't know whether Toney's going to keep his golden boot streak going. Right now, he's still a few goals off top spot right now, but with a goal like that and many more goals to come, I'm sure he'll still be up there or thereabouts come the end of the season as he gets his 9th goal, in the Bundesliga there, and most importantly, opens the scoring. So Leverkusen 1, Hertha Berlin 0, and we were the better team in the first half as well, as you'd expect, looking far stronger than our opponents. We had golden chances to double our lead as well, including right here in the 37th minute. Great save of the goalkeeper as it was still 1-0. But I felt as though we would find a second goal if we continue to push and continue to press. And just past the hour mark, still leading by the 1. What I noticed was Hertha Berlin weren't pressuring me at all. They were just containing. So whenever I ran at them, they didn't know what to do. And as Toney fed through Zabala there, he turns to Saliba, who's on my transfer shortlist, smacks it past the goalkeeper, and Steve Zabala. How nice was this to see? Perhaps present, assisting future. Toney rolls through Zabala, who stops on a dime, takes it around the covering defender and blasts it into the back of the net and makes it 2-0 to Leverkusen. Again, Toney to Zabala, present, assisting future. Absolutely love that. Great strike by the Uruguayan. It's his second goal of the season and his first in the Bundesliga as he comes off the bench to double our lead. And with 10 minutes to go, still leading by 2. Again, every time we came forward in this game, we looked like scoring. So many red shirts were storming forward at every single opportunity. And as Diego fed Ollie Shaw, he gave it back to our number 19, who smacked it in for his first goal in the Bundesliga and his second goal this season in all competitions as well. Shaw with a 1-2, Diego with a finish, another assist for Ollie, and 3 points in the bag for Bayer Leverkusen. 3 in the final score against Hertha Berlin. You know, I do feel very confident this season, regardless of what happens come the end of the campaign. We will have European football at the Bayer Arena next year, but whether it's Champions League or Europa League, I'm not too sure. A big win here against a European rival. We extend the gap on Hertha Berlin right now in the race for European football. There's no doubt about it. We should at least finish in 5th or 6th place, which will guarantee Europa League football. But I don't think Europa League football will keep my job. The board have asked me to finish in the top 4, so we've got to break into it. And I can't believe this. We're now at the early to midway point in December, and we're still not in the top 4. The big teams above us right now are just not slipping up. And honestly, man, I do guarantee European football at the Bayer Arena next year, but, at this rate, it might only be Europa League football. It's just been a really tough beginning to life at Bayer Leverkusen, as we were anticipating when we took over here at the Bayer Arena, but I can't believe we've still not broken into the top 4 yet. That just goes to show you how competitive this division has been. But still, for our third and final game of today's episode, we will travel away from home to the south of France to take on Monaco here in match day 6 in the Champions League. Where, of course, as we know, both teams have guaranteed qualification to the knockout stages, so it was a bit of a weird game, match day 6 between the top 2, but there wasn't really much riding on it. Of course, as we know, Monaco had to win this game to leapfrog us and pip us to top spot in the group. If we avoided defeat, we will qualify as group winners. That's why it wasn't a real surprise that all the chances in this game fell to the host, and Andre Lunin, who I opted to start ahead of Fortai. I was considering playing Manuel Neuer's regen, but I knew the Ukrainian would be tested, and I'm so glad I picked my main goalkeeper and my number 1, because he in this game had to make save after save after save. It was like a training exercise, all Monaco in the game, but despite so many shots being put on Andre Lunin's goal, he stood up to every single one and made every single save required. So Andre Lunin, my man of the match, and I've got to say, this season as well, he's been one of our unsung heroes. He's been fantastic between the sticks for us this season. He of course had that error against Wolfsburg in the last episode, but other than that, he's been almost flawless. Final score 0-0, and that does guarantee top spot as we qualify from the group as group winners. 4 wins from 6 and no no defeats either, we make it through as the winners of Group G. And you see the other groups here in the Champions League as well. You might be wondering how our former teams got on. Both Atletico Madrid and Roma top their groups as well. So buzzing to see both our former teams top their groups and make it into knockout stages alongside us. And you'll see the draw for the round of 16 in the Champions League in the last episode. Who will we be facing? Well, you'll find out very soon. But that was today's episode of Career Mode, guys. So big thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy today's episode, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode featuring the draw for the last 16 of the Champions League. Do not miss it very soon.